everyone, welcome back. Today I will be reading Training and Trauma, Such a Great Mix by Dark Phantom 248 on AO3. Today I'll be reading chapter 3, and yay, I don't know. I forgot to do this earlier, so sorry I lied. I said I was gonna post it around 7, it's currently almost 11. So I will try and write chapter 4, but I'm working on another AU right now. It's a marching band AU, and I think it's gonna be really cool. So, if you have any ideas for that AU, please comment them below. I need more ideas. But I can talk about that in another video. Let's do chapter 3. Chapter 3, A New Neighbor. I can't believe Bakugo is continuing to be such an asshole towards you, Hitoshi said as he cleaned Izuku's wounds. Hitoshi! Don't swear! Izuku exclaimed. Sorry, he said. Anyway, I can't believe it either, Izuku said. I mean, I get I'm quirkless and he thinks I'm useless, but still. You do know you're not worthless, right? Hitoshi asked, looking up at the green-haired boy whose leg he was wrapping. I know I'm not, but it's hard to hear that every day and not think about it for at least a second, Izuku said. It had been 2 years since Hitoshi had moved into Izuku's apartment. Soon after Hitoshi moved in, he started going to Valdera Elementary School with Izuku. Even though Hitoshi was going to school with Izuku and was trying to protect him, one or both of them would end up getting hurt at the end of the day. Today, it was Izuku's turn. Shoot, Hitoshi said. What is it? Izuku asked, tilting his head like a confused kitten. We're almost out of bandages and band-aids, Hitoshi said. Oh, we should go get some more then, Izuku said, starting to stand, just to be pushed down by Hitoshi. Nuh-uh, young man. We aren't going anywhere, Hitoshi said, arms crossed over his chest. I'm going to go buy the bandages and band-aids after I get changed. But, Izuku started. No, I'm going. You're not. End of story, Hitoshi said. Izuku sighed. Fine, he said. Hitoshi smiled before leaving the room to get changed. After he changed, he decided Izuku might want to get changed as well, so he went into Izuku's room and grabbed a change of clothes for him. When he walked back into the living room, he threw the clothes at him. Change out of your uniform while I'm gone, Hitoshi said, picking up his backpack as he made his way to the door. Okay, bye Toshi, Izuku called as he walked out. Bye Izu, Hitoshi called as he closed the door behind him. He almost ran into someone, but stopped just in time to not collide with them. Whoa, sorry, I didn't see you there, little listener. Are you okay? The man asked. And man, didn't that sound familiar? Oh, I'm fine, Hitoshi said. The man set the box down to reveal his face. He had long blonde hair that was tied up in a ponytail and emerald green eyes that were just lighter than Izuku's. That's good, the man said. Hey, do you live in this apartment here? Hitoshi looked back at the door and then back at the man. Yeah, I do. Why? He asked. Oh, well, my husband and I are moving in next door, so I thought I'd let you know we're neighbors, the man, his new neighbor, said. Oh, nice, Hitoshi said, rubbing the back of his neck. Where are you heading to, little listener? The man asked. I'm heading to the store. We're running low on medical supplies, and I know we'll need it later this week, Hitoshi said, mumbling the last bit. Oh, are you going on your own? The man asked, confusion in his tone. Yeah, my friend and I just got home from school. Aunt Mitsuki will be here to pick us up in an hour when she gets off work, Hitoshi said. Hitoshi didn't know why he was giving this random man so much information. It's just something about the man that makes him seem familiar, especially his voice. Hitoshi feels like he can trust the man. Is your friend not going with you? The man asked. No, he needs to rest for a little while, so I'm just making a quick trip on my own, he said. The man furrowed his brows, but before he could say anything else, a new voice cut in. Hey, Zashi, what's taking so long? A new man asked. Hitoshi's eyes widened. because not only did he recognize that voice, he also recognized the man's face. Eraserhead? Hitoshi said, keeping his tone bland. Eraserhead looked at him. Oh, hey kid, Eraserhead said, setting his box down. Sho! The other man exclaimed. You know this kid? Now that Hitoshi looked closer, he realized the man kind of resembles Present Mike. Wait, didn't that man say he and his husband were moving in next door? Does that mean Eraserhead is married? Married to Present Mike? His complete opposite? Chill, Hizashi, Eraserhead said. I met the kid once, like 2 years ago, while on patrol. You didn't tell me? The blonde man, who looked like Present Mike, asked. Nope, Eraserhead said, turning back to Hitoshi. Anyway, why are you here, kid? I live here, Hitoshi said, gesturing to the door behind him. You do? Eraserhead asked. Yeah, Izuku and I live here, Hitoshi explained. Izuku. Is he the green-haired boy from our first meeting? Eraserhead asked. Yeah, that's Izuku, Hitoshi said with a fond smile. I still can't fathom why a kid would be carrying a knife on their person, Eraserhead said, shaking his head. What? The other man asked. I met this kid and his friend 2 years ago while on patrol, Eraserhead repeated. I had just thrown my last knife and rushed into a nearby hardware store to see if I could borrow one. The door to Hitoshi and Izuku's apartment opened. Izuku's voice cut Eraserhead off. Hitoshi and I had just so happened to be there, Izuku said, all of their attention turning to him. When he said he needed a knife, I didn't even think before grabbing one off of my belt and throwing it to him. I carry knives for self-defense when I leave the house at night. The blonde man looked horrified. Eraserhead just looked confused, and Hitoshi knew he looked concerned to Izuku. Why are you not resting? Hitoshi questioned, one eyebrow raised. You're loud, that's why, Izuku said, a small smirk creeping onto his lips. Go rest, you idiot, Hitoshi demanded as he waved at the door. What, you don't want me talking to Eraserhead and Present Mike? Izuku asked. So I was right about that being Present Mike? Hitoshi asked. Izuku just nodded and yawned. Hey, where are your parents, kids? Eraserhead asked, changing the topic. Auntie will be here in about an hour when she gets off work, and Uncle Masaru is working on a big collection at his office. He probably won't be home until 7 at the latest, Izuku supplied. Really? That late? Hitoshi asked. Izuku said. Damn, that's late for him, especially since he goes in at 6 in the morning, Hitoshi said. Yeah, Izuku said. So, you guys are just left alone during the day? Eraserhead asked. No, Izuku said. Only an hour after school, and from 9 o'clock to 6 in the morning. Do your aunt and uncle not live with you? Present Mike asked. No, Hitoshi answered. They live with their son, while Izuku and I live here, by our choice. Why didn't you guys live together? Eraserhead asked. They aren't my blood-related family, but they were friends of my mom before she died, Izuku said, keeping his tone straight. She wrote in her will that when she died, full custody of me would be given over to the Bakugo family. I'm sorry for your loss, Present Mike said, tilting his head. Eraserhead nodded, agreeing with what Present Mike was saying. It's fine. It's been a while, so while I'm not completely over it, I don't break into tears at the mention of her anymore, Izuku said. Shota listened to the kid, Izuku, say his mom was dead with a straight face and no sign of breaking down. That hurt Shota because he could tell this kid was hurting, but he wasn't showing it. Shota decided to change the subject. Where were you heading? He asked, looking at the lavender-haired boy, Hitoshi. Store, Hitoshi said. For what? Shota asked, curious. Medical supplies, Izuku said. Yeah, we're running out, Hitoshi said, shrugging. What are you two doing here? Izuku asked, meeting Shota's eyes. We're actually moving into the apartment next door, Zashi piped up. Really? Izuku asked, eyes lighting up. Yep, Zashi said, smiling. If you want, we can take you guys to the store. How's that sound? Shota asked. Hitoshi turned to Izuku for an answer, while Izuku thought about it. As long as we go to the nearby store and not the one further downtown, Izuku said. Nuh-uh, Hitoshi said, before Shota could answer. You need to rest. Hitoshi, Izuku said, looking at Hitoshi. I'm fine. Nope, you are going to rest for once in your goddamn life, Izuku, Hitoshi stated. Ugh, Izuku groaned. Fine. Good, Hitoshi said. If you want, Zashi can stay here with Izuku, and you can come with me to the store, Hitoshi, Shota suggested to the boys. Hitoshi looked at Izuku, who just nodded. Sure, as long as President Mike makes sure Izuku's resting and not being a brat, Hitoshi said, looking at Izuku as he said it. Aye aye, Captain, Zashi said, saluting. Shota face-palmed. Let's get out of here before he does something even more stupid, he said to Hitoshi. Hitoshi just nodded before saying goodbye to Izuku and following Shota down the hall. So, Shota started, how long have you two been friends? And how old are you guys? We've been friends for 2 years now, Hitoshi said, and we're both 9. I guess Izuku's aunt and uncle are very trustworthy, then. Shota asked. They trust Izuku, and I've earned their trust, but I think that's because we're kids who don't know any better. Or, that's what they think at least. Shota sighed. Do you two sneak out a lot or something? He asked. Maybe, the boy drawled. Shota sighed again. Looks like these kids would be the death of him, since he was definitely not going to let these 2 9-year-old boys sneak out of their apartment all of the time. Hey, it's not like we go out and do bad stuff, Hitoshi defended. We just go to the clearing in the woods and train. Oh, wow. Could it get any better? 2 9-year-old boys who sneak out of their apartment to go into a forest at night. Shota could feel the headache he would endure when dealing with these two. On another note, the kid said train. What does he mean by that? What do you guys do for training? Shota asked. Well, we do endurance training, strength training, and we train our fighting styles, Hitoshi said. What the fuck? How do you guys do that? Shota asked, hoping the kid knew he meant everything, not just the fighting styles. For endurance training, we either run after each other or we run around the clearing's perimeter. Either way, we run around the clearing. For strength training, we either punch and kick pieces of wood or we spar. Quirkless sparring. It's the same for Izuku either way, though, Hitoshi said before Shota stopped him. What do you mean it's the same for Izuku either way? Shota asked. Shoot. Izuku's mumbling habit's rubbing off on me, Hitoshi said. Well, you see, Izuku's quirkless. That made so much sense to Shota. Why the kid felt the need to bring knives with him. Why he seemed so guarded. Why the kids needed more medical supplies. Shit. This means that Izuku probably gets bullied. That's not good. Bullying isn't good for physical or mental health. Fuck. Shota ran a hand down his face. Does he get bullied? He asked. Yeah, Hitoshi said, accepting his fate. We both do. Shota stopped. No, like he actually stopped walking from the surprise. Hitoshi stopped too, turning to look at Shota. Sure, Hitoshi looked kind of like Shota did when he was his age, but that doesn't mean Hitoshi had the same experiences that he had. Now, Hitoshi was saying he was bullied, and from the way he said quirkless sparring wasn't different for Izuku instead of the sparring wasn't different for either of us, Shota could assume Hitoshi had a quirk. Do people consider your quirk villainous? Shota asked. Shota saw Hitoshi flinch, but before he could say anything, Hitoshi said, Yes, they do. Izuku's been telling me my quirk isn't villainous since no quirk is villainous or heroic, but I don't know. I mean, everyone, except for Izuku, auntie, and uncle, has told me my quirk is villainous, and that I would make a good villain. Shota clenched his fist as he looked at the 9-year-old boy in front of him. Hitoshi had his head down, and he was fidgeting with his fingers. Shota took a deep breath before crouching down to meet the boy's eyes. He put a hand out and made sure Hitoshi could see his movements before placing a hand on his shoulder. Hitoshi looked at him, eyes glassy. Fuck. These kids really would be the death of him. Listen, Hitoshi, your quirk is not villainous. Izuku's right. No quirk is villainous or heroic. Quirks are just tools, and you choose how to use them, not everyone else. A lot of people won't accept the fact that quirks are just tools, but it's true, Shota said, looking the boy in the eyes the whole time as he spoke. He saw Hitoshi jolt as he started to cry. Shota pulled him in for a hug. Hitoshi gripped Shota's jumpsuit like a lifeline as he sobbed into his shoulder. Shota was going to kill whoever hurt this kid, but right now, he had to comfort Hitoshi. Hizashi and Izuku watched Shota and Hitoshi walk away. Once they were out of sight, Hizashi turned to Izuku. So, little listener, Hizashi said, turning to look at Izuku. Wanna? He stopped talking when he realized Izuku was already walking over to his apartment door with the box he set down. The listener, he called after him. Izuku only turned around after he had already made it to the door and set the box down. Yes? He asked, with the most innocent look on his face. Hitoshi said that you're supposed to be resting, Hizashi said, as he made his way over to the little listener while holding the box Shota had set down. What Toshi doesn't know won't hurt him, the boy said, waving him off. Hizashi set the box he was holding down next to the one the kid had put down as he pulled out his key to open the apartment. Little listener, if you're supposed to be resting, then you should be, he said, unlocking the door and opening it. But that's boring, the boy groaned, picking up the box he'd been carrying previously alongside the one Hizashi had set down. Why don't you tell me why Hitoshi thinks you need to rest, and I'll tell you what I think, Hizashi suggested. He knew whatever had happened wasn't life-threatening since the kid was up and walking around just fine. But he was curious to know why the boy was being told to rest. Izuku seemed to ponder on Hizashi's suggestion for a few seconds after setting down the boxes. Well, the boy said, putting a hand on the back of his neck and rubbing. I guess I can tell you. Hizashi smiled. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, little listener, but I'm all ears if you do, he said. The boy seemed to relax a bit. It's fine. I want to tell you, he said. There was silence for a few seconds before Hizashi nodded his head for the kid to start. Well, there's no easy way to say this, so, he said. I get bullied, mentally, emotionally, and physically, every day, he said. Shit. This kid gets bullied in all these ways, every day? No wonder Hitoshi wanted him to rest, and no wonder they needed more medical supplies. It's mainly just my classmates, but some upperclassmen bother me as well, the boy said. Are you okay, little listener? Hizashi asked. Hizashi could see the boy flinch at his words. Then, the boy started laughing. Probably not, he said. Now, that's sad. A traumatized child laughing about their own trauma. Hizashi wanted to DJ punch whoever hurt this kid. I'm not the only one they bully either, though, he said. They normally bully Toshi and me, especially since we're around each other so much. Scratch what Hizashi said earlier. He was gonna DJ punch whoever hurt these kids. Like, why would you bully two kind souls? Unless they had a quirk a lot of people didn't like. Hizashi decided to keep his questions for later. Right now, the boy was talking to him. Scratch that. The boy wasn't talking. He was crying. Hizashi quickly moved over towards the kid and made his movements big and visible, so the boy could see him coming. The kid let him hug him. Everything will be okay, little listener, Hizashi said, rubbing green curls. Shota and I will help you. After saying that, the boy seemed to cry even harder as he buried his face deeper into Hizashi's chest. Hizashi just stood there, soothing the kid. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 3. Chapter 2 and 3 were both kind of long, so I don't know. But I really hope you enjoyed it. yeah, I don't know. I think that this chapter was really good, and I also figured out that I need to edit something because I remembered I had to put in like these codes and stuff on AO3 to add a page divider. And so I literally just put insert page divider here instead of the code because I forgot to put in the code. So I have to do that. And I'll do that and then I'll edit this and I'll post it for you guys. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this because I really did. I will try to write chapter 4 today. I'll probably start it. I probably won't finish it. But just know I'm going to try to start it. Anyways, really hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you in part 4. Bye.